Right, it's the 1st of, August 2026. Just want to update you on a few things. The bike issue's been really bad, and there's been loads of vehicles that I've not managed to photograph. Most of it is, all of it is basically to apply my father, Michael, or making some form of suggestion in a very far-fetched way that's well below the belt. Animals keep saying that I'm going with Ella. Ella is gone. There's no Ella. The likelihood is she's got someone. It's too late, even though it's a goddess name, even though it occurs in hundreds of jungle tracks with the suggestion of that name. And it's been unfolding around me as well in that specific way. And there's also been commercials that they messed up on the system when it comes to the media to apply I'm in a relationship with that specific person. That person's gone, that person's through the net, and she only visited on that one specific day on the 14th of January where I played pool with her at that specific place. There is another Ella, but this is only a child, and that's called Ella Dora, that goes to the church. So, but this is referring to the other one. I'm not really supposed to say the name because I've been in trouble for putting posts on Facebook regarding that specific name, but because I don't state anything in the way that looks offensive or anything like that, I sort of breaking the rules slightly and just putting the name, but not going into any depth or suggestions or making, sort of saying stuff about that specific person. I just want to mention something else. The Ella that goes to the church is Ella Dora. She's only a very young child, yeah? And I want to mention something else. The other Ella that I saw at the community day going back to the 14th of January this year, she does actually look similar or near enough the same as that younger Ella Dora that goes to the church. I came in here yesterday, right? Because I was having a go at that fucking cross there, that evil bastard Christ, yeah? Well, let's give you an update of just the last few minutes of walking into the church, shall we, and the rest of the walk that I did from that pathway. Some teenage girls are talking about sexual relationships, and they're playing some track, I don't know what it's called, but it says umbrella, 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 and it's talking about lusting and enjoying sex with other people, lusting and all the fucking rest of it. And then obviously after that, they time a lookalike to someone who sexually abused me as a child, tying to a super high up erection via a loud bike in a distance, which occurs regardless. So that's the next fucking problem. While I've got a few minutes to do it, I will give you the actual setups that occurred this morning, because I had that burning problem. It feels like cat claw scratch marks right across your whole body, gives you itching feet and all the rest of it. I don't know what's causing it, but it seems to only happen where I live. The other thing is, obviously, I've had to put up with a loud bike tying to an erection. And going to the window, there was two things that occurred. They timed a Somerset Waste Partnership dust cart, followed by a on-mic van. So that's this morning, before going out. The other thing I wanted to mention is not just a bike issue or making the suggestion of my father in a very far-fetched way. If I had those photos, I can tell you now, it would not be very good on Facebook, and it could upset family members if I put it on there. But, what's causing it? Why is it coming out in that way? It's fucking ridiculous. So yeah. Right, so let's get to the bit I wanted to mention, shall we? So there's been over 300 teenagers that only look about the age of 16 pushing a fucking buggy, pushing a mistake. They made themselves a stale piece of shit. They're very used. They're mothers. They're very, why should I be told to go with a very used person that's had sex with everybody for first ever sexual relationship when I've never had anyone in my whole life, apart from Jesus Christ raping the guts in and out of me as a child, doing it through perverts that fucked me in and out as a child, forcing me to enjoy being sex sucked on the floor, feeling like water jelly, and being forced to enjoy suffering badly for sex over the person who's fucking raping me as a child. That's all Jesus can fucking provide in this fucking life, and it's the same in my last life, the life before that, and what's going to happen in my next life. And I can confirm my last life because a psychic told me this. And my mum got the reading for me 20 years ago, and the psychic said that I was a female as my last life, and said that I was a pretty good looker, as a female in my previous life, and all I had is people raping the guts in and out of me as a child in my last life. And that's all God can provide. So this is why I fell against that bastard. I can tell you now, this Christ, this little bastard here, I'd rip him to pieces, I tell you. I really would. I'd fucking rip him to pieces. Any forgiveness is out the door, even if I get sex in this life. I won't forgive Christ under any circumstances because it's too late. Because whatever I get is going to be a second-hand fucking person that's very stale, very used, and it's going to be a person that's which my enemies enjoyed sex with more than I'm going to be able to enjoy sex with her, because she's going to have older skin, she's going to have a rougher face, she's going to have a more of a sinister accent, the type I don't like. So that's all God can provide. So the bastard, I am fucking staking the cunt, and if Jesus Christ returns in my lifetime, I'm ripping that bastard to fucking pieces. I'll fucking pour petrol over him and set him alight. That is how fucking nasty I'll get. There's no love here, Christ. No fucking love. Your fucking love is sick devotion, causing everybody to have sex with everybody. Yes, they're showing love, they're enjoying sex, but you fail with me. You just forced me to fuck people that raped me as a child, and there's no forgiveness. There's going to be no forgiveness. I'm not letting it fucking go, Christ, you fucking twisted angel. You've got to take into account that bastard Christ had sex with Mary Magdalene, a child prostitute, or a child from the Bible in his living life 2,000 years ago on earth. How am I supposed to worship or pray to a bastard that's had sex and enjoyed sex like everybody else? This is murder, Christ. This is blue murder, you bastard. And you're not fucking getting away with committing blue murder on me in every fucking life, you tight-fisted bastard. I can't get no one. I won't get no one. I don't need a psychic to tell me the dating sites are all a scam. I won't get a prostitute. You can't get a prostitute. They've got the same restrictions, age gap problems, everything else, and they won't even give you proper sex. They tell you to wear a condom. Well, how can I've been molested without a condom on. There we are. Loud bike to erection. Right, so the next fucking problem, let's get to the next problem, shall we? Because, you know, like I said, it's all scams, and I've been scammed. I've been on dating for over 20 years, failing. There was a time period where I wasn't on there so much, and I was socialising and all the rest of it for about a decade. And what happens in that decade? Everyone's taken, everyone's a mother, the mistakes made, everyone's kicking out. Congratulations, you fucking sick fucking bastard, Christ. And that's another thing that they're doing. They haven't done it so much today. I don't know if they have done it today, I can't remember. But they're timing lookalikes to people that sexually abused me as a child tying to an erection with a baby in a sling by a teenager. Yeah, that's right, the baby's out. Yeah. And that's another thing that they say applying. They're applying that they're going to rip me to pieces and put me in sacrifice and destroy me in every fucking life because I wouldn't return, kicking my insides out to cause a doorway to heaven by fucking the guts in and out of people that raped me as a child. And now they're telling me that I've got to do it with a granny. And you've got to force yourself out doing it, enjoying sex over a granny. And that if you don't force yourself in enjoying sex with a granny that's stale and used and that's a mother and fucking whatever else and that's very negative looking, that you're going to be ripped to fucking pieces and put in sacrifice and have your fucking wrist sliced in time. I can't ask anyone if they're single, and I can't go with anyone. Because everyone that I've known in my life is through. The whole fucking lot of them. They got someone, or they've been made pregnant. That's every one of them. Every single person that I've known. As I mentioned, 2025, I knew a load of people up until the second week in January. And then obviously there was no new people that I met, and all the others, the two that were single, they've been taken as well. So God sliced my wrist, and I'm not going to fucking forgive him. Right, so they've basically there's been about pretty much 500 bikes on a journey to what I was doing, and there was a lady that resembles a specific person, but the person that she resembles is not legal age of consent, and she's connected to connections or whatever that don't like her basically, and that person, when she is say older, a lot older, that's not going to be possible. But as far as the bike issue goes, they're really digging into my whatever with it. I just collected some fags that I hid out because a dream I had last night was not in favour of giving up smoking. And I doubt I can do it either, I don't know yet. I'm just trying. This Ella, the one that's, well basically the adult Ella, not the one that goes to the church. she's been popping up in dreams since the 16th of July. So this person's appearing in dreams, even though I only saw her on that one day. People across Bridport today are sort of laughing, saying Ella's age, and as it is now, obviously she's going to be a year older than what she was at the time. Because she looked older than that initially, older than what she said her age is, so she's likely to be, 7 months ago, so she's likely to be the year on top of that now. These people in Bridport don't understand that it's too late for me to go with that person. But they have got that initial feeling. Some of the rougher people are saying it as well, but it's a different type of rough there. It's more like the, how do I put it? Different type of rough. I don't know how to word it. The type people that are like sort of, it's hard to describe, but the sort of people that, not the scum life type or the football type player or the ones that dye their hair grey or act like they fucking know and there's all that swearing and all the rest of it. It's not that type. It's the other type. It's like the more safer types of people, but they still have fights, these types of people as well, but it's more of a, it's very difficult to explain. But what I will say, just to simplify the issue, is they think that I'm going with Ella. Now, this is the 4-letter name I'm not supposed to mention, but because things are passed away, and she's no longer applicable, and the fact that I'm never going to see her again, and I'm told to make no contact with her because of the age gap. So legally I could actually go with that person, but due to restrictions on people, and because people moan about the age gap and all the rest of it, they're being more advisable with the situation. As far as single people go, looking for single people in Bridport, quite literally even the minors are in relationships, is very, very difficult. There's not many people that are Asian that I've seen today, or Indian, but the ones that are, they've got a ring on their finger, they're pushing a pushchair, they're with someone. This is the fucking problem, and I can't do it online, you see, because they're all scammers, and there's nobody else that can help me. This is that name I just mentioned. Going back when I was doing the recordings before, I was told off for it, and the sort of stuff I put on Facebook, and I had to basically, I had to be told not to do it, and they were getting concerned because I said that I want to, have better connections with that person, and wording that I can no longer use. If she was to contact me, fine, that puts me in the clear. Or if, just supposing, this isn't going to happen, but just suppose she wanted to try and ask me out, that would be absolutely fine, that would be no problem at all. But that's not going to happen. This person's fallen against me, or it's detached. The likelihood is she has a boyfriend, and if she's got a boyfriend, it's going to be too late. It's the one I suspected that might have a boyfriend already when I saw her on the morning of the 15th, but I can't remember. I can't guarantee it was her. But if she's got a boyfriend, whatever happens, everything's got to be replaced. What's through? This year is the worst this year on record, of about 40 people that have turned against me. And most sort of getting pregnant as well, and also the people at the community day, as I mentioned. Well, I'm not on this recording, but quite literally every one of those have found someone and they turned against me. And it's also they messed up on a pre-futuristic track that they made in 1994 and 93. It's called DJ Nut Nut and Pure Science, the Rumble Boom Shaka mix. Now, it mentions a specific person's name in that track. She's through as well. charming, isn't it? Nothing's being replaced, nobody's helping me, and people keep telling me to go with people in my age group. But the problem is, I don't want anyone in my age group. I want to be with a younger person, because that's what I should have been with. They're quite literally trying to tell me to go with a very used lady, or someone that's extremely stale. In actual fact, I have mentioned this to people in authority, and saying most of them are actually saying that they got HIV or sexual diseases where they've had sex with many people. And they agree. They say if you want someone badly, you want it bad enough, then you'll have to take that risk. And that's from people in authority. And I thought, this is taking the piss, you know, if you never had anyone before in your whole life. But, you know, nothing I can do about it. Looking at the possibilities left, if I was to mention any possibilities, even with the ones with a boyfriend, where the mistakes haven't been made yet, you are talking about that. You are looking at that person's name that I've been mentioning. But yeah, it's beyond belief. It really is. There's nothing I can do about it, and no one's helping me, and no one can help me. Even my brother has mentioned how scarce it is finding single people, even in Amsterdam. He says there's more of them than in the UK. He says that people are a bit more flexible, and people don't just go with each other at school. You know, I was reading something on the internet the other day, and it's about banning smartphones in schools, because all the children are getting in relationships, leaving no one out there single for anybody else that's never had anyone before, like myself. Well, the thing is, I'm 44 coming up 45, and can't leave it much longer, because at my age, people are going to wonder why am I going out with someone that age, this day and age, because I don't allow the age gap so much, or people moan about it. This is the problem. It's got to be sorted out now, yeah? And I need help with this, because I can't do it by myself, because people are too fucked up and too stupid. I mean, I spent 2 years socialising with one specific person in her early 20s, going back when I was living at my old place. And then I eventually asked her, how about, you know, if you're single, do you want to come for like a drink? And then I said, maybe you can come back to mine for a bit. As soon as I mentioned that, after 2 years, she fell and turned against me and put me down as sad. And that was the end of it. So, everything's through, the whole lot. As it currently stands, everybody's in a relationship. Now, I'm not very happy about going with someone that's had raw sex with another person. And the problem is, these people have it raw. They don't wear a condom, because they like to feel the feeling of sex. They enjoy it more that way. And the problem is, unless she can split up with her boyfriend before it's too late and the mistakes get made, there's nothing I can do. There is nothing and no other possibility left. And yet that Ella is the youngest out of the lot. That's how serious it's getting. But there's nothing I can do about it, you see. I can't make communication. She'd have to do that. She'd have to make that step first. Because obviously my posts that I put on the internet, people were looking at it in a way where they found it like to suggest that I'm stalking her when I'm not. I'm just saying how much that I sort of got on with her playing pool on that specific day. But like I said, it's all over. It's too fucking late for anything now. The whole lot's through, not just her, everybody, including that other person. Well, yeah, let's just say the lot is through. Everything is through. The whole lot. We've got to start from scratch. A brand new person from wherever. And it's going to have to be someone that I fancy. So I don't take to homosexual attraction, you see. So I want someone that's got like a smooth appearance, you know, a feminine look. Someone that's single. Someone that's, you know, sexy enough to enjoy sex with. You know, because I haven't had that in my whole life properly. Because the only sex I've had is being raped as a child. But there's nothing I can do about it. And people are telling me to go with people that are more negative looking than those. And telling me to go with people older than people that sexually abused me as a child. Which is not going to compensate the issue for what's happened to me as a child. But, you know, if anyone can help me, then do get in touch. And obviously, if someone does go with me, that can help me in that way. I'm not going to hurt that person, and I'm not going to cheat on that person, because I just want yeah, you know, someone to love, basically, you know, and to enjoy sex with, because, you know, shouldn't be suffering for a fuck for 44 years or whatever without being allowed sex. Or should I say, since I reached legal age or whatever, 16. But, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm very pissed off, to say the least. It's starting to take its toll. The older I get, the more I feel fucking hung inside. And the more I sort of get that feeling like suffering or feeling like sick inside. And then if I think about Christ, every time I think about Christ, I just get that sudden thought that he's had sex with Mary Magdalene, and I just get sickened every time I think of just the name Jesus Christ. So, you know. But if there is anyone single, I'll tell you my preferred types. Japanese, Chinese, Asian, or if it's white people like myself, I like the sort of smooth skin, maybe a bit tanned, maybe slightly brown, with dark brown or sometimes black hair. I like that sort, that are very sort of not serious looking in the face, or don't have that dry and sarcastic look in the face. I want someone that's got like a sexual looking face, but at the same time someone that's clean looking, you know, got smooth skin, someone that you know, someone I can basically enjoy sex with, because I've not been able to get anyone. There are some blondes that I like as well, but because they've all shit on me, these blonde people, right through my whole life, it's sort of put me off that type. So I prefer to go with Asian, possibly, or the description I just mentioned. I don't really take to many people in my age group. It's not just for the attraction. They just got that sort of look where it's more serious, or got that sort of social look, or got that, the way they pose is more sort of, or the sort of accent they got, the sort of speech they use, it's just not right. It's like past relationships, or, you know, like they speak like saying congratulations, or I just don't want to go with that type. I don't take to that type. I want someone who's more younger in their speech, as well as, you know, everything else I mentioned. So if anyone can help me, yeah, just add me as a friend. But whatever happens, I don't want to have these scammers taking a piss out of me, because that's all I'm getting at the moment, right across the internet. It's been going on since day one, when I first used the internet. In 2005 you had them as well, and that's going back when I first used the internet at Bridgewater Library, using postal order payments to pay for these online dating sites. And when I did do that back in that time period, they kept closing the sites down. I couldn't get refunded. And it closed over 50 sites that I was using on in that specific year, 2005, when I first used them. And then there's about 40 odd on the second year that they closed down. And they had a lot of free ones as well, but they still had to pay, you know, they weren't, it was still like it is today, but it wasn't as expensive, not quite, but it was still there. But they guarantee that you get someone. And then you've got all these others telling me that I'm a sick cunt, or saying that I'm too hot for you, and this and that. Mostly the dry and sarcastic, nasty type, should I say. And then you've got these others that will accept like 30 or 40 years age gap. But the problem is, these friendly ones, they're all taken. You know? And obviously, with people getting much more dry and sarcastic in this day and age, when it comes to age gaps, they moan like anything. It's not like it was. Even back in 2005, people my age could get a 16 or 17 or 18 year old. It's not like that today. They moan about the age gap. I mean, it's still possible that I could get an 18 year old or whatever, but it's going to be very, very difficult, because you're looking at about 1 in about 30,000 people that will accept that sort of age gap in today's time. Going back years ago, that wasn't seen as a problem, but we're in a different time. Things are not the same anymore, and this is why they split the friendship up between me and Ella when I went to that community day and saw her on that one specific day. I never saw her on any other day, it was just that one day. And because of the big age gap, they have to, because they work in authority, they have to have responsibility, and they sort of prefer to tell you to go with someone within 10 years in either direction. But obviously, if someone's been abused and not had anyone, you should be allowed to have a bit of a wider range, a more flexible compatibility. But unfortunately, things are not looked at in that way anymore. People take things sort of, you're treated like a piece of shit. You're treated like everyone else, regardless of what you've been through with the situation. So it's a lot different. But like I said, if there's anyone single, yeah, and you want to help me out, like, you know, just get in touch, yeah. There's a few things I want to mention. I forgot to mention this earlier. I found out what that name is of that lady that came out to speak to me asking if I'm single, but it was done at a time which is not very good when it's the last bus home. But also when people were around the corner were saying that they were going to smash me in, mistaking me as the person's name of Saven. And that's where she said she lived at the time. There's not guaranteed where she lives because I do not know. It could have been a setup, but it might not have been because of the way she came to me. But she said, I got no one around back to smash you out, all the rest of it. And it made me a bit nervous because of the type of action she had, the type of person that she is. She's got that sort of mental rough suggestion. And I don't mean my mental as in mental case, but that sort of way, if you get what I'm saying. So then I saw her a few times after that with her boyfriend, and the boyfriend was not exactly a comfortable atmosphere when I was passing, so I sort of avoided those two. And then I sort of saw her again in recent times on her own. But I have found out what her name is. It's Jude, which is not a name that matches the description of her face, because I heard her being called. But I was in a situation where I couldn't, it would look suspicious if I was to hang around doing nothing where she was at the time when she was having a conversation. This was at the market. The other thing I want to mention is a person this is quite an unhappy sort of person. In fact, it's a type that gave me threats. So this person was about 60, 70, but it's like a rough type. I didn't get any threats, but he was listening to a rather interesting track. The Beatles, Eleanor Rigby. So it's not one of the better tracks, it's quite a miserable track, but it's alright. Let's leave it there on this recording. There will be setups. The bike issue's been extremely bad today, and all the other setups. But don't think there's been any threats in Bridport, and I've been in the town for like several hours. There might have been a couple of mild ones, can't remember now. But all in all, yeah, well, there was a couple of sexual ones, paedophile and child molester and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, the regular sort of threats where people say that this day and age in the streets. If you say that in other countries, you get locked up. But, you know, say that sort of thing in the streets. But in the UK, everybody are rather slack with their behaviour problems, so you do get that. But it hasn't been bad. It's been far from bad. It's worse in my area than it is in Bridport. It always has been. But obviously going home, if there's anything else I need to add to this, I'll do it on a separate recording. I won't do it on this recording. But the likelihood is there is going to be problems. There's definitely going to be setups, there always is. But I'll keep you informed and whatever goes on regarding the later issues. So I'll leave it there on this recording. And if there is anybody out there, going back to the other bit of information, then please can you help me, yeah. Right, so my willie's very high. There's been over 1,000, maybe 1,200 bikes being rammed down my